I'm HandyDadTV. I'm going to introduce you to a brand new surveillance system. This is a wired surveillance system from eufy. And the cool thing is it comes with 4 cameras that have pivot, tilt, and zoom capabilities. But they also have another trick, which is really pretty cool. So those 4 cameras actually appear as 8. I'm going to introduce you to it coming up.
I'm going to go through the unboxing and setup of this system, but what you're seeing here is actual video exported from the NVR to test the 3 cameras that I installed in my front yard. Now those 3 cameras actually record as 6 channels in the NVR, and what I did is I split the screen in my editing software so you're seeing 4 of them at a time. Now I live on a little over an acre in New Jersey on a corner property that the house is set back 150 feet from the street. So these cameras have the ability to zoom in and keep the subject in frame for up to 164 feet away. So it's a perfect test with this property. So what you're seeing here is a demonstration of me walking around my property, and I was looking for dead spots, but there are none. No matter where I go, one of these cameras is finding me and following me. And not just following me, but zooming in and keeping me in the frame, recording my face, and even recognizing my face with local AI, not the cloud. It's really awesome. So needless to say, this is the best surveillance system that I've ever tested. So now that I've given you what it looks like in the end, let's show you how I actually got here. Welcome to HandyDadTV. I'm Chris Hyder, your virtual dad in the cloud, and today we're going to go through this eufy. Let's see, this is the NVR Security System S4 Max. Now this is a wired surveillance system, meaning those cameras have to be connected with an Ethernet cable from wherever you put them to your NVR. And NVR stands for Network Video Recorder. And it's using its own private network that is not accessible to the internet unless you allow it to be accessible. And it also provides local storage so that there's nobody going to be snooping on your video. So this is really good for privacy conscious people and just anyone who doesn't have internet. I'm sure if you don't have internet, you are privacy conscious. And you probably really want to protect your property too. But who doesn't want to protect their property? But anyway, surveillance systems are really pretty awesome. In fact, fun fact, 2012 was my first YouTube video, and it was installing a hardwired surveillance system. Not unlike this one, but this one is much better technology, much more advanced, and you're going to see why. All right, let's unbox it. Brackets and wires, very important things. Directions, positioning sticker for said brackets. This is the NVR itself. It is about the size of a DVD player, if you remember what those look like. You can hook 8 cameras up to this directly. Love that. Comes with a mouse, power supply, HDMI cable, and a power cord. All right, these are the cameras. There's actually 2 cameras on this unit. There's the fixed one on the top, and the bottom is a PTZ, or pivot, turn, and zoom, PTZ. And the bottom one, the turret camera, actually has 2 lenses. So one of them is a wider angle and the other one is telephoto. So that's cool. You can position this wherever you want it. See how that turns? You can position this camera up and down also to get you whatever view you want with the fixed camera. And then this one will track your subjects. That's a cool thing. So you can have it pointing in 2 different directions. You can have this pointing to the left side of your house, and you can have this pointing to the right side of your house. And with the wide angle on both of them, you get complete coverage. Anyway, it comes with 4 cameras like this kit anyway. And there are other wired cameras that you can get. I got it. Neato. Neato Guido. Who you calling a Guido? Forget about it. All right, let's get it set up. All right, just to touch on a little bit of the nomenclature here. This camera is called the PoE Cam S4, and PoE stands for Power over Ethernet, which means when you plug this cable into the NVR and you run it to this camera, the NVR sends power over this cable, because this is an Ethernet cable, and if it sends power over that Ethernet cable, that's where PoE comes from. They are also releasing some other cameras, which I do not have, but this one is called the PoE Cam E41, which is kind of a turret camera. It does not PTZ, so there's no motion on it. It's a fixed camera. And there's also a PoE Cam E40, which is what they call a bullet type camera. All right, so those are all PoE cameras that are compatible with this NVR. And I assume they're going to have different combinations where you could get some of these and some of the other ones. But either way, it's all the same NVR. So I'm going to put it into PoE 1. Then I'm going to connect the other end of the Ethernet cable into there. And that should be good. Well, I'm going to do you a favor and not bore you with all of the setup footage. But trust me, it was easy to set up. And I tested it inside with just one camera in my office just to make sure everything worked. And it didn't require an internet connection to do the setup. But once it was connected, the NVR and the cameras both automatically downloaded firmware updates. And I could also access the NVR from the eufy app. And that's how you get notifications if you want them. So you have to do an internet connection if you want notifications. So these are all the alert settings. And you can have message notifications turned on. You can log any kind of user activity, administrative activity. But here, AI recognition. Okay, that's the power of this thing. And that's really cool because then eventually, once it recognizes our faces, we can then put alerts that let us know when one of our family members are home. Like you could do that with your kids, right? Kids get off the school bus. Oh, Johnny's home from school. You can get a notification of that. If it's somebody that it doesn't recognize, you can get a notification that says, hey, there's a stranger on your property. Now, I'm in the process of evaluating this system, so I'm not putting up these cameras permanently. And so I kind of hacked together just a few pieces of wood that I can hang over the gutter here. Right, like that. Okay, and then I can run the cable through the gutter over to my office, which is over there. Now for a permanent installation, I would drill holes and run the wires up through the soffits into the attic. But for this temporary installation, putting them in the gutter is good enough. But what I have to do is I have to make them weatherproof, and they include these weatherproof connectors that make sure that the Ethernet connection is watertight. And they're simple to use, 3 parts. It's really easy to do. And then running the wires through the gutter was pretty simple too. I wouldn't leave it like this long term because I'm sure the weather and the sun probably isn't going to be really good for those wires. But like I said, for this test, this is going to be fine. Now the far side of my house here is probably the most vulnerable because it's the one that faces away from the streets. And so I wanted to put one more camera on this side, and I actually hung it on the outside of the gutter here and ran the wire, just tucked it in from the siding because there's obviously no gutter that goes all the way around to the office. So I tucked it into the siding. Having vinyl siding here in the Northeast, it makes it somewhat easy, especially for a temporary installation like this. All right, so here you can see all 6 of my cameras, which is really 3 physical cameras, but they're 6 virtual cameras in the system. And the fixed ones are across the top and the movable ones are down the bottom. And the field of view for all of them is 122 degrees. And you can see I double clicked on this one. This is the fixed camera from the driveway. And I can click that. It gives you the picture-in-picture. I can quickly go back and forth if I need to. And of course, if I'm on the movable one, the little navigation shows up and I can move anywhere that I want. And I can zoom by clicking over here. Now, one of the other things that I need to do is if you go into equipment, now this is the driveway camera. I'll go into equipment and click on driveway, and under recording mode, I can scroll down and select activity zones. Now, I moved this camera, so I need to adjust this activity zone. You can see, let me turn off the sound. So I need to adjust this one. So I'm going to click edit, and when I do that, I click on this and you can see it's got these little dots on the side, and I can move these down into my yard. And that way I don't get notification of anybody walking like on the sidewalk. I don't care about people walking on the sidewalk. That doesn't bother me. But if they step on my lawn, I want to know about it. Now, looking at the system settings here under the storage tab, you can see that it comes pre-installed with a 2 terabyte hard drive, and it stores about 3 days worth of footage with my 3 cameras. And this is expandable up to a 16 terabyte hard drive. You can basically open it up and swap out the 2 terabyte for a 16 terabyte, and that would give even more capacity. Now, playback is cool because you can turn on as many cameras as you have. Oh, actually it says select up to 4 cameras. Here I have it set for all 4 of my, I have them for the front and the driveway cameras. And you can see on the timeline here, they were all recording. And what I can do is go backwards in time. And you can see they were all recording when I was moving stuff. Here you can see people walking up, and a great view of their faces. Now, instead of just showing you the screen, this is an actual exported clip of an Amazon driver making a delivery. You can see how close it zooms in, how well you can see his face. Everything is just perfect. And although he's got headphones in, these cameras are absolutely silent when they are turning. You can't hear them whatsoever, and he didn't even notice them. So it's really good. And he hops his way back to the car. He's really hustling. You can definitely tell the make and model of the car. You can't see his license plate at this angle, but you know, he gets in and he drives off. And this is just, it's wonderful. It doesn't miss a thing. And it's so much better than the Ring cameras that I had before. There's another cool feature of the event tab. If you come into the events, it gives you a smart search up here. And that is really pretty cool because you can type in anything you want and the AI will interpret it. So for example, I click on red car because that's one I've searched on before, and you can see it shows me clips wherever there's a red car. And I happen to have a red car, so there's quite a few. But here's another one, baseball cap. So if you know somebody was wearing a blue shirt or a baseball cap or whatever, you can search for those kinds of things, and it'll just show you the events where that term shows up. But that's the power of this local AI. All right, let's figure out, using our surveillance system, who or what left that on my sidewalk. Now, I originally located this on the screen, but I exported the video so that you can get a better sense of the quality. And the nighttime quality is pretty good, although you can see something coming in from the left-hand side. It's definitely an animal. You could see the eyes, and then it zooms in a little bit. And the cool thing is it actually noticed the camera. It's got that sensitive a hearing that it could hear the camera move. And when you look at it closely, it's a fox. And here it's a little strange because it's not very well lit, but he stops on the sidewalk and just turns around and walks away, and that little black spot is still there. So there's my culprit. And then he made his way back to the driveway, and I thought he was going to go under the gate, but he didn't. He actually just went around the truck and disappeared into the night. And coincidentally, this is not the first time that I've seen this animal. He shows up at my property quite a bit. Practically every other night, every third night maybe. So this is really pretty cool. And it sees deer, It also is sensitive for vehicles as well as obviously humans. So really works well.
If you have any questions about this new eufy surveillance system, leave me a comment down below. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.
Hey there, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be the first to know when new videos are posted. Look for HandyDadTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit the website HandyDadTV for more great ideas and information.